I was born in Italy, in Tuscany, in 1921. We came over when I was 18 months old, in November of 1922, and with my mother, just my mother and I, and my father had come to this country in advance to get a job. I moved to the Alvarado in 1929. I think it was November 1929. And we leased a farm for 5 years near the schoolyard of Alvarado. It was near also the railroad station. Our farm was dedicated to raising truck crops, a vegetable farm. My uncle, Bruno Orsetti, had already been in this area, had his own farm nearby. And so he was going to help us get started with our farm, and he had a large family, and they give us a big boost. He's also a very skillful farmer and knew the agriculture of the area. Well, that was just a temporary farm, the Granger ones, and then we eventually bought our own farm, which was located where the present Reagan Nursery is located, and near the intersection of Fremont Boulevard and Decoto Road. I just wanted to tell you about how we bought the farm with August May. My father acquired the farm from the bank that had taken over the property because of foreclosure. And so the president of the bank told my father that if he wanted to buy it, he could pay the down payment, and he would actually give him the deed immediately, because he knew by a handshake that he was reputed to be a very good person to pay the farm eventually. And so he was willing to go ahead with the deal on that basis, which they don't do that these days anymore. Well, when we first bought the property, it had 8 acres, and then we bought adjoining parcels on each side. One was close to Fremont Boulevard, another one was on the Newark side, on the south side of the property. So they were, from 8 acres, it became 25 acres. When I got to high school age, which 14 was beginning my high school age, I was able to go only during the freshman year to day high school. And then they offered me a chance to finish high school by going in the evenings. So I went to night school at Washington High School. My wife, when I was farming, she was working in the produce market in Oakland. And she was a bookkeeper for one of the commission companies there in Oakland Market. And they had a festival and a picnic one time between the farmers and the commission market. I met her at a dance there at this festival, and it was up in Castro Valley. Anyway, that's where we met, and it was kind of interesting that she was working for a produce place like that. And so she says, "Now, are you sure you want to marry me?" She says, "Because I'm going to quit my job." She was worried about her job, but everything worked out fine. It so happened that there was a nice cottage there on the farm that we were able to move into when I got married, and then my children were born there, and they grew up and started going to the schools there, Alviso and Patterson schools and Washington High School eventually, the same high school I attended. Yeah. I joined the Farm Bureau, and I was in the Farm Bureau as a director in the Farm Bureau, and I was active, and I went to all the meetings, and they had social events. The farmers had social events like the potluck suppers and ice cream socials, and
Oh, really?
yeah, we did a lot of wonderful things with the families getting together. We met at the high school. Washington cafeteria was the regular location for our meetings.
Well, we stayed on the farm until about 57.
And then
And yes, in 57, when eventually my father retired from farming, and so that he preferred that I don't continue farming because he didn't want to be retired and be watching me with my problems in the farm.
I went to work for the schools. I went to work first as a school bus driver in the 50s, and I was a bus driver, and then I worked for the schools in Union City, and as a bus driver and maintenance person. And then eventually I worked, after 10 years working in the schools, I went to work in Chabot College as a maintenance person. And then I worked 10 years there.
Thank you. I enjoy doing this very much.